Alright, so here I am with the Carolina African Runner peanut variety. And this is basically an African variety that was brought to Carolina during the period of slavery. You can see here, this peanut in my hand has imperfection in it, has holes in it. So I've basically been removing these peanuts, and these are the ones that are look, here's another one. Sometimes you miss the hole, but for the most part, these are the good ones. And I'm still harvesting. I just wanted to show that before I finish the rest. Here are some peanuts that were harvested maybe about a week or 2 weeks ago, and I was pulling up some weeds, and I saw the peanuts come up with it, and I just kept those and put them to the side and let them dry out. So those are dry, and they can be cooked and eaten right now. Here you can see some peanuts still hanging out mid-air. So these are what I'm harvesting at this moment. So let's get this angled right. So this is you can see this is actually a dry peanut right here, but I'm still gonna add it with the rest of those. And all I've been doing is pulling up the plants. So you can see the root base right here. You can see a peanut down there also, but this is where this plant is at. So let's try to pull this up. Shake some of that soil off. I see peanuts falling. So this is the root base of one of the Carolina African Runner plants. Try to do this without knocking off too many peanuts. Come back and rescue these. Very beautiful peanuts. This is my second season growing them. These are actually grown from volunteers that sprouted from plants that I didn't know I left in the ground last season. So these are actually growing well, and they're seem to be a little bit larger. They've been putting on some size. You can see this one has a hole, so we're gonna toss that one. They've been putting on some size compared to last season, so I believe that they're acclimating to my climate. Zone 9B, Louisiana. There was a lot of peanuts that fell in there. So I'm gonna come clean out this little container when I finish. I'm gonna do that on my own time, but just finished pulling up some plants. Now, although that was in a container, it actually wasn't in a container, to be specific. This container doesn't have a bottom on it, so the root base was able to go into the soil. See some more peanuts. So the root base was able to go into the soil, but like I said, this was a volunteer, and I didn't intend for it to grow right there. But it grew very well, so I just let it be. And it basically allowed me to go a season without having to plant the Carolina African Runner, since it planted itself. This variety is listed in the Ark of Taste. So it's a rare variety that needs to be saved. It was basically on the brink of extinction. Some drying tips for peanuts are to harvest the whole plant and allow it to dry for 2 weeks. But I've noticed that just plucking the peanuts from the plant and just allowing those peanuts to dry by themselves it's been working well for me. So I don't keep the plant material because I don't really need it to dry the peanut plants, and it helps me to save on space and find more suitable locations to dry these peanuts. You can see I'm just yanking them out the soil. So here's a good one right here. Bunch of peanuts on there. And I'm just stacking the plants right there so I can come back and clean those peanuts off the plants. So very beautiful. Like I said, I'm gonna come back and clean those up. But I believe that was the last of the Carolina African runner plants. Over here are some that I already harvested. And honestly, if you were to come walk by this garden bed and look in here, you would think that I was standing next to the garden eating peanuts. But actually, these are peanuts that were eaten into by insects or whatever may have came and got them. But you can see here's actually a peanut seed, so that's probably gonna volunteer on its own. So I'm gonna just leave those how they are, and hopefully I can have some more volunteers. But here's some of the plants that I cleaned off already, and you can see here's one that's actually already starting to sprout. So today is December 30th, 2021, and the first peanut has sprouted. The first volunteer. I'm gonna clean up some of these peanuts off the plant. I'm gonna do a little weighing. It's not gonna be the exact weight because I still have a couple that's inside of those grow bags and containers, but it's gonna be a negligible amount of peanuts. It's not gonna really make a difference as to the weight that we see today. So I'm just picking off the ones that don't have those holes on them. Now essentially essentially these are going to sprout still, because one seed may be eaten but the other one is still in good shape. But you can see this one is actually starting to sprout too, if you can see inside that shell. So I'm gonna just leave that be. I may plant them somewhere specifically since they already sprouted. But I've noticed that if I wait until December or January to do my peanut harvest, it's actually a good timing for me instead of harvesting right at first frost. Because I realized last season, once my volunteers started sprouting, that I don't have to harvest that right before first frost or during first frost, because I still had some peanuts that survived underground. So these will actually stay underground. Until spring comes, and then they'll sprout on their own. Some beautiful peanuts. Like I said, they've been putting on some size compared to last season. So let's see. Just gonna get a couple more, and then we're gonna do a wang. I'm just going for the largest ones. The small ones can resprout. I'm not concerned about I'll let them resprout on their own outside. I'm not concerned about adding them to the stash. Just the holes, gotta throw those out. I don't want to have any insects in my seed stock or my peanuts that I plan to eat from. Nothing worse than having an insect inside of there and they just tear up your whole crop. You can see it's quite common actually for insects to attack these peanuts. So I'm probably losing as much as I'm harvesting, but it's fine. And these weren't actually growing in ideal locations as far as insect prevention is concerned. These were just growing wherever they grew. Oh, here's a good sprout. Get some sunlight on there. That's an excellent sprout right there. Carolina African runner. So they grow readily. Just gonna finish cleaning off this little plant here, and then we can do a wing. I'm gonna compost these plants and leave the peanuts attached to them. The peanuts that aren't suitable for storage, just gonna leave those attached to the plants and allow those to give me another crop volunteers that succession sow themselves. Now here on these plants, I also want to show these little peanuts are nitrogen fixing. It's in the legume family. So these little things here actually will feed your soil. So it's good to compost your peanut plants. Let's go look at it on here. Over here, I had a better view of it when I was pulling up the plants. Let's see. Yeah, I just gotta find the root base. Here we go. So you can see on this one, all those little nodes on there, bunch of nitrogen pockets basically. You can see all the peanuts hanging off of here. A lot of them had holes in them. So one seed may be eaten, but the rest are still good to go. This is the harvest we have today. Beautiful. I actually still have my peanuts from last season also, because I didn't have an opportunity to plant them since the volunteers sprouted themselves. So let's get these weighed. Okay. I have it on pounds. Have the scale set to pounds. And that's 8.5 ounces. 241 grams. And I still actually have these little couple here. Those dry ones. So 250 grams of Carolina African runner peanuts. Not a bad harvest for one day of work from volunteers. And actually it may have been a pound, but insects destroyed the other half of the crop, which is no problem to me. All right, so that's all I want to show. That's the Carolina African runner. You can see a bunch of sprouts between the sprouting peanuts and between the insects. I lost a little bit, but no issue there. I'm sure there's plenty of peanuts still beneath the soil. It's in excellent condition. So I'm gonna go find the rest of those. I'm gonna take me a break for the day. See y'all in the next one.